What is going on, everyone? My name is No Pun Intended, and welcome to coverage of my Week 2 battle for the PCL, where we're taking on Drake, coach of the Sydney Silvallys. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like or a comment on it, because that would be nice. Hopefully this video won't last nearly as long as last week's video, so let's just jump into Drake's team. It's horrifying. He also has a very offensive team, but his is a lot faster than mine, and so I don't have great switches for a lot of his Pokemon. He's got that vaunted offensive core of Tapu Koko plus Flying type, and most of the time the Flying type is either going to be Hawlucha or Mega Aerodactyl, but he has both. I do not have great switch-ins to Mega Aerodactyl whatsoever. I do have Aegislash for Hawlucha, which is nice, but Arrow is going to be a huge issue to deal with, just because it has that 150 base speed, and my fastest mod is 122. But he also has plenty of other mons that can have good speed. Gengar with base 110, both Mesprit and Hydreigon can run Scarfs, as can technically Mamoswine. Although I think Mamo is a bit better in this matchup in particular, in a more Bandit or Life Orb set, so probably won't run that against me. But still, all of those mons are very, very terrifying for me to take on. Not so much his defense, I feel like I can handle all those mons pretty well, especially his fighting weak mons like Empoleon or Snorlax. So I have to figure out a way to counteract his offense, and I had to get very much out of my comfort zone with my team this week. I wanted to bring some new mons from week 1, but as it turns out, there's only one mon change that I made between last week and this week. However, the sets are mostly different, so let's talk about them right now. My primary win condition is, well, it's a mon with a particular set that I've been really intrigued by, and I decided that this is the kind of game where I can use it. It's Weakness Policy Swords Dance Aegislash. Thanks to Aegi's massive bulk, it's able to eat up super effective hits, gain the +2 attack and +2 special attack, although I didn't have any special attacks in this set either. And then I can set up a Swords Dance, and I'm hoping that because Drake's team is very offensively inclined, that I can just bust past him. I'm going to need a decent amount of support in order to do it, but Aegislash is the kind of mon where it can be a win condition no matter what sort of set you run. To assist Aegislash in being able to tank super effective moves, I brought a dual screens Nihilego, namely because it's my fastest mon that has access to Reflect and Light Screen, and I figured that combining the role of both screens onto one mon is a lot more efficient than having to separate it. Sludge Wave and Thunderbolt are coverages that are just there in case I want to hit Tapu Koko or Mega Aerodactyl or something like that. I don't know what opportunity I would get against them to do so. My main goal with Nihilego is the screens. Then we have Mega Medicham, whose role is to break down supposed counters to Aegislash, just because it has such a high attack stat. The moveset's rather standard. I didn't want to risk high jump kick, because I feel as though he could run a few different mons for Protect. So I went Drain Punch plus then Headbutt, Bullet Punches to pick off mons like Mega Aerodactyl or Tapu Koko if they're at low HP, and Baton Passes to gather some momentum in case he brings something like Mesprit. And I anticipate that mon coming in to be a defensive check to Medicham. Next up is Lando, and there's one thing I've learned, it's that Mega Aerodactyl and Mamoswine are very annoying to Aegislash because they both get Earthquake, and they can't potentially get weakened by King Shield. So my plan for dealing with either one or both of them is to use the YACHE Berry on Landorus to tank either an Ice Fang from Aerodactyl or an Ice Shard from Mamoswine, and then I can hit them over the head with either Earthquake or Stone Edge. U-Turn is for momentum, and I didn't have a Rocker on this team, so I just threw Rocks onto Lando. I don't really need another move for it in order to work. The fifth mon is Infernape. Defensively, it's horrible this week, but offensively, with the Choice Scarf, it actually has quite a bit of potential. Drake does not have good switch-ins to the dual stab combination of Fire and Fighting. He may have a few for those types individually, but he can't necessarily predict what type of move I'm going to go for unless he brings Mono Protect. U-Turn is for momentum in case he does have a Mono Protect, and I can just pivot out of there almost immediately. And Stone Edge is to hit his flying types like Aerodactyl or Hawlucha a bit more efficiently. And the final mon I brought for my Week 2 team, the only new mon that did not come for Week 1 is my Ditto. It's running Assault Vest just so I can take hits better from Gengar and Tapu Koko specifically. I imagine that he's going to keep those mons rather safe in the back if I can get rid of the physical attackers like his flying types. And if that's the case, then Ditto can potentially copy either Koko or Gengar, survive attacks, and then be able to hit back while being able to switch up moves. I really value the ability to change the types of attacks I go for, because if he brings one of his ground types like Mamoswine, I don't want Koko to be locked into Thunderbolt. If he brings Gengar, I can take advantage of his coverage moves, etc. So my plan lead is going to be the Landorus Therian, because I can get off an Intimidate against whatever mon Drake sends in first. And I can always bluff Scarf if he brings something fast, like the Tapu Koko, which I like bluffing quite a bit. So I'm going to lead with Lando, and Drake leads off with a Mega Aerodactyl, which I think is probably, once again, the best case scenario for me in a lead matchup. I'm usually not good at that, but in PCL, I'm 2 for 2 so far, so that's nice. The thing about Mega Aerodactyl is that it has a lot of coverage, and it outspeeds every mon on my team. I think it can actually run an Adamant Nature on me, while still being able to outrun my Greninja, which is my fastest Pokemon. So I want to kill it off as soon as possible. So knowing that my Lando has a Yache Berry, and it can take an Ice Fang, which is the worst possible move it can go for against my Landorus, I'm going to like to stay in, try to click the Stone Edge. It's a 50-50 roll to kill, but if I can get off a ton of damage against the Aerodactyl, I should be able to put it in range of any of my priority moves. So I stay in, I'm going to eat my Yache Berry. That should allow me to take the Ice Fang. Why did I just die? Oh, it's a crit. Oh, great. The crit really hurts. It sucks. Technically, Stone Edge is a roll to kill, but there's a lot of value I gain from Aerodactyl being at low health as opposed to being at max health. Let me put it in this way. Aerodactyl at 5% health is a lot more manageable than Aerodactyl at 100% health. And the main reason is I have an offensive team. I have plenty of ways that I can pick off a weakened Aerodactyl. Scarfed Infernape outspeeds it. Aegislash is Shadow Sneak, Mega Medicham is Bullet Punch, Ditto can try to force a Speed Tie, and any hit it goes for will presumably kill Mega Arrow. So 4 of my 5 Mons are designed to beat a weakened Aerodactyl, but at 100% health, Aerodactyl is a lot more tricky to kill. I don't have great options to hit it that hard, at least in terms of my attacking types. So my only real play at this point now is to go into my Aegislash, which by the way, is my win condition, and threaten him out with a Steel move. Thankfully, Drake does take the bait. He wants to preserve his Mega Aerodactyl, which I totally understand, and he's going to actually switch into his Tapu Koko, which takes over half damage from my Iron Head. It's very apparent that he didn't bring a Steel Resist for this game, but considering the offensive pressure he immediately puts on me with the Tapu Koko, I don't think he really needs it. And on this turn, I'm going to have to find a Mon that I'm willing to take a Thunderbolt from a Koko, so I'm actually going to switch out into my Nihilego. I've pretty much resigned myself to the fact that I'm not going to be able to get my dual screen strategy out just because his team is so fast. It outspeeds my Nihilego, and I can't really do much about it. And you can see, yeah, Thunderbolt does over half to my Nihilego. I'm not going to be able to survive another one if he stays and inflicts the move, but I think he gets scared by the fact that I bring Nihilego directly in on top of Koko, and he thinks that I'm Scarfed, similar to last week. So instead of staying in with the Koko and getting a kill, he's going to switch out into his Mesprit as a bit of a defensive check to what would be a Scarfed Nihilego, except I'm not a Scarfed Nihilego, as I mentioned. I'm Light Clay with Reflect and with Light Screen. So now my defenses are a lot higher. Now, I have to decide what Mon I want to take advantage of the dual screens, and well, considering my candidates, I could very well go into Ditto and tank a Psyshock from there, but I don't know what moveset he has. I'm thinking the Mesprit is more defensive to take on the Mega Medicham, so it doesn't seem like a great idea. I don't want Medicham or Infernape to switch in on a Psychic-type attack, and I don't want Nihilego to stay in and take a Psychic-type attack. I mean, if it's a bad enough scenario, I can choose to stack Nihilego and go into something else for free, but considering the team that I have left, the best candidate, in my opinion, to switch into is my Aegislash, just because it takes nothing from Psyshock whatsoever, and more than likely, because this is a defensive Mesprit, he's not going to be able to damage me very much, even with a super effective move. So I'm going to stay with Aegislash. I'm just going to click the Swords Dance. Drake reveals the Shadow Ball. So there's the super effective move I was thinking he would have. It still does almost no damage to Aegislash, and I'm going to be able to activate my weakness policy. Aegislash is now at +2 attack, and with the Swords Dance, it's actually going to be at +4 attack. So Drake is in a very, very tricky spot right now. He doesn't have great switches to Ghost and Steel coverage, so he has to decide whether or not he wants to sack off his Mesprit or switch into something else. But Mesprit is clearly his least viable offensive Pokemon. It's really doing no damage to my Aegislash, in spite of the fact that it has Shadow Ball as a coverage move. So I think Drake makes the right play here and just repeatedly trying to chink down my Aegislash. And what I really should have done here is set up the +6 attack, but I really just wanted to get off some damage, just in case he decided to switch out here. So I'm going to click the Iron Head, take advantage of the fact that I'm in Shield form. I don't want to go for Shadow Sneak just yet, otherwise he'll be able to get a hit on me while I'm in Blade. And so I bring him down into the red, and that's more than enough range to pick him off with a Shadow Sneak. At this point, we have some good news, and we have some bad news. The good news is, we got a kill. We're not getting 6-0'd. The bad news is that Drake still has his Mamoswine, who I kind of overlooked when I was setting up a couple of turns earlier. While Mamoswine's Earthquake doesn't actually kill my Aegislash with Reflect Up, and if it goes back into its shield form, it does put it within a range where Hawlucha might be able to kill it, which is really bad because Aegislash is the one thing on my team that's stopping Hawlucha from being able to sweep right here. This puts me in a huge dilemma. Do I go back into Blade form, try to take an Earthquake from the Mamoswine, and go for an Iron Head to knock it out in one hit? Or do I switch out of a +4 Aegislash in order to preserve my HP so I can check Hawlucha later on in the game? Now, I didn't have much time to make this decision, but ultimately, I think I went the wrong direction here. Probably should have gone for the kill on the Mamoswine, because once again, I just don't have switch-ins for it. Even if my Aegislash has to take the hit, I can hope that it still has enough HP to tank an Acrobatics from the Hawlucha. So, let's move on from here. I'm actually going to go into my Nihilego to sack it off, because I don't think there's going to be another opportunity where I can get up dual screens. The only chance that I would is if he came in with Mesprit on something like Mega Medicham, but even considering that, I think it's more likely to go for an offensive move, and my Nihilego wouldn't be able to survive that in most circumstances. Anyway, I'm rambling again, and I don't have much time to ramble, so I'm going to bring in my Infernape and just click Close Combat. He stays in. I think he revealed in his Teambuilder that he was actually a Scarf Mammo, so perhaps he was expecting that he would be able to go first and just click Earthquake, but that doesn't happen. I'm able to kill off the Mamoswine in one hit, and that's huge because Mammo caused a lot of problems for my team. However, because I've gone for Close Combat, Drake is a very safe switching into his Gengar. If I'm not Choice Scarfed, I won't be able to outspeed it, and if I am Choice Scarfed, I won't be able to deal damage to the Gengar anyway. So I'm forced to switch into what is pretty clearly going to be a Shadow Ball, and I make the wrong play going into Mega Medicham. And the reason I made the wrong play is because I have an Assault Vested Ditto that's going to be behind a Light Screen, so even though it will be forced to take super effective damage, it'll be able to handle the attack much better than Mega Medicham, who still had some use in spite of the fact that it got outsped by most of the team Drake has left. But at the very least, I will get a free switch into my Ditto. I don't have to worry about taking any chip damage with it, and I can just lock myself into Shadow Ball because, much like me, Drake does not have a Ghost Resist on his current squad. But one thing he does have is a Mega Aerodactyl that still hasn't taken any damage yet. And Aero has okay bulk for what is mostly an offensive Pokemon. So it's going to come in on a Shadow Ball. It doesn't even take half, which I find is pretty impressive for a Mega Aerodactyl. And now he's going to be able to outspeed me and click Earthquake. And all my last three Mons, the Ditto transformed into Gengar included, are weak to it. So I have to pick what is in essence a sack here. And I choose Aegislash, which, again, wrong play. Should have sacked the Infernape and then tried to come back in on the Mega Aerodactyl with my Ditto, just so I would have the opportunity to copy it and outspeed the rest of Drake's team. Unfortunately, I don't do that, and that basically seals my fate, because Aegislash is going to die. And I don't even need to commentate the rest of the game, because he can just go into the top of Koko at a certain point, set up Electric Terrain, and then Hawlucha will get the Unburn boost and just sweep me with Acrobatics. To put it bluntly, I lose the game 3-0. And I'm really disappointed with the manner in which I played. Not so much with the team that I built, because even though I didn't have switch-ins to most of the Silvallys team, I still felt as though my offense could go toe-to-toe with his, in spite of the huge speed disadvantage I had. Obviously, the turn 1 crit on the lander has really set me back quite a bit, but I still had a chance to win, thanks to my Ditto and the offense that I had. Unfortunately, I wasn't really able to see it through. I think I brought out Aegislash a bit too early. I needed to weaken some of his team before I did that, but I didn't think I was going to be in a position to set up screens with Nihilego, and I felt as though I needed them in order to have any chance. And I still made a bunch of really strange plays. Sacking Medicham was probably a big mistake. I have Assault Vest Ditto for a reason. I wanted to bring a Ditto that could switch moves, so I really should have taken advantage of that a bit more. And perhaps assigning Aegislash both the role to be the primary Hawlucha counter, as well as the win condition, was too much for it. This is kind of one of the things I feared about the team, that Aegislash was going to be my defensive check to 5 or 6 Mons at a time, and I really need to figure out a way in order to allow my other Mons to share the burden a bit more. Because I want Aegislash to reach its fullest potential in the Draft League format, and I haven't done a good job of that in the first 2 games that I've played with it. I still have 9 games left for me to figure out what I'm doing wrong and how to correct it. So hopefully we can get things straightened out for Week 3. But I want to thank you all so much for watching. Please make sure to leave a like or a comment if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel to see the future games for the Philadelphia Aegislash in the PCL. And until I see you next time, take care.